I've had these 10 shoes since high school. It's been a long time, to say the least. And that means these have officially entered the can't be with list. First up, we have the 2000 Air Jordan 6 Infrared. This is the first retro from the OG back in that time. Now, I wasn't in high school in 2000, but I did get these when I was in high school. And this, as most of you know, if you haven't seen my Air Jordan 6 collection video in particular, this is one of my favorite sneakers of all time. Probably like the favorite sneaker of all time, the one that I've always had in a case over the years. I still have the box, the retro card, and a little ziplock, having the lace lock on here still. There's just something about this shoe, the story about how I got the shoe. It took me a while. I had to buy a collection from somebody else just to get a pair, to own a pair. They weren't even my size, and then I ended up finally finding a pair in my size, and I sold the pair that I had to then take the money and put it towards getting the pair in my size. This is just this one, bruh. Like, I will never forget this. Now, I've owned multiple pairs, but this one in particular is the one that was the first one that I had owned in my size, and I said I'm never gonna wear these. Like, I just cherished them so much. I had always tried them on in the house, but for some reason I could never muster up the energy. I was always like, I need to get a second pair. And that's kind of what got me into buying 2 and 3 pairs of things, because there were certain shoes that I were falling in love with that I just knew, like, I might keep this forever. And that's definitely a trend that started to happen over the years. And then as the retros started to come out of this version, I had always compared them to this one. Was it as good as this one? And we saw the infrared pack, we saw the infrareds after that, we saw the varsity red 6s, we saw the other infrareds that just came out with the Nike Air, which they did pretty good on those. But this one here, yes. Now next up is actually a more recent pickup, but I know this has been a shoe that has been on my list for a long time to add to my collection. And then also, I know that I just can't let them go. The only way I could let these go is if I got a cleaner pair to replace them. But at the end of the day, there will always be a pair in my collection, and that is the 1985 Air Jordan 1 Bred. This is not no retro, this is not none of that other stuff you guys seen. I did a full trade video. I ended up getting, I got rid of some shoes, used the money to get a different pair, got that pair, traded those directly for this pair. And then, as you guys remember, I did that out in Philly with Seth Fowler. Appreciate you, bruh. This one has always been on my list, and I know this one's not going anywhere. I have a ton of Jordan 1s. You know, I have over 100 pairs of Jordan 1s in my collection, and there's certain ones that I'm just like, I'm not getting rid of. If I were to get rid of a bunch of them, great, yeah, but there's certain pairs that's not going anywhere, and this is definitely one of those pairs. Yo, DNA fam, I know you guys are into sneakers, so I'm gonna assume that you're into investing as well, which means you're probably also interested in leveling up your life. I think you definitely need to check this out. I just launched my DNA show community on School, and it's totally free to join, by the way. Inside, I've dropped my entire Hobby to Hustle program. It used to be $99 a month, and I've helped tons of people turn their passions into profit with this course. And now I wanna give it away 100% free just for the community members. This is gonna be a place where sneakerheads can connect, share game, and grow together. So don't wait, hit the link down below in the description to get instant access to the Hobby to Hustle course today, and I'll see you guys on the inside so we can run it up. Next up right here, this is kind of like a twofer type situation. So this one I just have accessible. The other pair isn't signed, so I'll pull this pair out. And because they're signed, and the whole story behind me seeing Tinker again and everything like that and getting them signed. So this pair is the more recent pair of Concord Air Jordan 11s. Now, if you guys remember when the Concords came out back in that, what was that, 2011 when those came out again, when they retroed? During that time, Tinker actually came to the downtown Portland launch. I was one of the first 10 people in line, and he was signing the boxes for everybody who had purchased pairs. They didn't have time, because they had the shroud and all this stuff, they didn't have time to unbox the pair and then have people sign the shoe and everything, and not everybody wanted to get the shoe signed in particular. So because of that, he was signing the boxes because it was just a lot faster process. So I do have the box. I actually have multiple pairs with the boxes signed, so basically it's kind of a twofer. That pair from 2000, I want to say it was 11, that pair I have the box signed, and then this pair, this newer retro, I actually have the pair signed. I knew that I was going to be seeing them again, and I wanted to make sure I brought a pair to get signed, so this is the one that I chose to do. Definitely a fun time. Everybody thought I was going to have them sign my Nike mags, but that was definitely not something I was willing to do just yet. Maybe have them sign the box next time I see him, but for now, the Concord 11. So this is definitely a newer one, but it's kind of a twofer, and it made me think. Originally I was thinking of that pair, but then I forgot. I was like, oh yeah, I did just get these signed, so I pulled these out because obviously it looks cooler with the signature on the shoe. But you guys saw that. Now let's take take it to the next one because this one, bro, oh, I got a good story for this one. Also, make sure you guys stick around to the end of the video because I'm going to do some honorable mention PE sneakers as well that I'm just never going to get rid of. I feel like it's not fair to put them on this list because then obviously they would just outweigh everything. I have a ton of great memories with all these general release sneakers as well. And that's the Air Jordan 6 CDP Carmine. So if you guys remember, the CDP pack was coming out in 2008. Jordans 1 through 23. The 23 was dropping, so they did 1 through 22 in packages. Obviously, 2 shoes per pack. And this was the 617 pack. Now, I camped out for this pack, and I sat out all night trying to get this pack. First 2-3 people in line, and we go in, because this was when we were at the ES. So we go to the ES, we're camping out. Obviously, all the employees go in first, then we're in next on the guest passes at the time. And bruh, tell me why they had, I want to say it was a size 16 or 15. I can't remember. So what happened basically, I got my pack, and it was this is why I was confused, because when I got the pack, one shoe was a 15, the other shoe was a 16. So the size, like the Jordan 17s, they were like a size 15, and then the Jordan 6s were a size 16. So I'm like, bro, you guys mixed up the shoes in the package. This was all I could purchase. I camped out all night. Like, what? Are you kidding me right now? So I was very, very salty about it, the whole situation. But I still ended up purchasing the pack because 6 is my favorite shoe. You guys know that. The Carmine was a grail. I had never owned the Carmines before. So seeing those coming out in the package, I was so hyped. Even though I had the Jumpman on the back of the shoe, didn't even care. So now I had the shoe, and I'm like, bruh, I'm on a mission. I have to get my size. So then I'm like, okay, I got them. I put them on like Craigslist or something like that. I tried to sell the pack separately. If you guys remember when the CDP packs was coming out, a lot of people was joining forces and saying, hey, I'll buy one, you buy the other. That way they didn't have to pay the $310 to get both when they didn't really like both models, and they was trying to sell the other pair or try to, you know, recoup some money from it. So I'm like, at this point, I'm gonna try to split the pack and see if I can sell them individually because it's 2 different sizes. So I'm pretty sure that's what I did. And then I had some cash, which was nowhere near what I needed to get the pack in my size. But then I found a used pack for a size 12. And I was like, oh, I'll just take the insoles out. I remember taking the insoles out, rocking those to a basketball game back when we were in high school, and it was so uncomfortable. I'm like, bro, I need a 13. I gotta get a 13. So I had the used pack, and I was like, at least I got them, right? I wore them. I tried to go out and flex in them all, whatever you want to call it. I was excited to rock them. Eventually, I was able to get rid of those. I found a 13, then I found another pair. Then I started just rocking them all, and I was hyped because, you know, back then it wasn't like, I didn't have the full mindset of like, save it for someday. This is going to be worth even more and all this other stuff and roll this into real estate and do that. I was just trying to have cool shoes and have a cool car. Like, you know, I was a kid in high school. Eventually, I had got to the point where I had multiple pairs and I got rid of some stuff, but I had one pair left that was still clean that I had only worn a couple times. I don't know if you can tell from the bottoms, they definitely do look really, really clean. But this pair I had only worn a couple times and cleaned them up each time. I try to keep these ones on point. And from this point on, I had told myself, like, I'm never rocking these. And then eventually we got retro, and then we got another retro iteration. So I had nothing to worry about from that point on. And it got to the point where I didn't care about the value. I didn't care about any of that. There were so many memories behind this, just trading up to get the shoe. The memories of rocking the different pairs that I owned over the years, through high school, through college, different stuff like that. So this one, yeah, this one, I love this shoe. These ain't going nowhere. Next up right here, we have a non-negotiable, a shoe that I got rid of, and I was so glad that I got back. And I guess there's technically one stipulation as to why I would get rid of these, but it's only to one person, and that is the MF Doom Nike SB Dunk High. This is one of my favorite SBs in my collection. I've had these for a very, very long time. Luckily, I was able to get these back. It's just an ultimate grail. Obviously, RIP Doom, but this, like, bro, the feeling of this is crazy to even still have these to this day. So this pair I had, I didn't get them when they came out, but I got them shortly after that. And then my friend, he didn't want to get rid of them, but he told me the only person I would let get them would be you. So he ended up letting me get in the shoes, which was about like 15 years ago. I feel like it was a long time ago. And then he wanted them back, and I was like, okay. We had this kind of rule, this like thing amongst each other, like the only person that could get them was each other. So it was his turn to have them back in his collection. I said, okay. So we did a deal, and then years go by, and then he hits me and he's ready to get rid of them. Now it's my turn to get them back in the collection, and I got them back like a few years ago. And from that point on, I was like, I'm not letting go of these, which was really the same thing. I wasn't trying to let go of them before, but again, I was kind of honoring the deal. I don't think he's gonna request them back again. If he does, I gotta make an emphasis on why. I just need to keep them, and I'll send him a picture of them if he needs to or something. But this is definitely one of those ones that's got a fun story behind it. Something cool, something dope to have in the collection. Still having the packaging and everything, the box, and then obviously the outsole. My pair is yellow a little bit, but you can still see the imagery throughout there with the face and everything. So very, very iconic, dope shoe. Just love having these in the collection. Good funny story behind it. Let's take it to the next one. Right here we have an Air Jordan 15, and I'm sure you're probably very surprised that these are on the list, but I love 15s. You guys should know that by now. If you haven't seen before I even started this social media stuff, I've been collecting 15s forever. I love the 15s still. I know it's one of those not loved sneakers, a very hated, whatever you like to call it. On my list, it's still a banger, and this one in particular I think was one that I had a lot of crazy memories with. The playoff 8s were coming out back in 2007 for holiday, and that was before they were doing Jordan 11s for holiday releases. They were doing other models. So I remember, if you guys remember during that time, remember it was like you had the Black Cats and the Fire Red 3s and different stuff like that coming out, and the flips and all that stuff. And then the playoff 8 was like the one that was dropping right before Christmas. So those were coming out, but alongside that release, I had saw, I want to say it was like 23isback.com or something like that, because there was, you know, there was different sites back then. They had the Laser 15s also releasing the same exact day, and I was one of the few individuals that love 15s. The lasering, all the stuff that was going on with that was super dope. So to see all those elements, I thought these were great, and still to this day, I think they did a great job on the shoe with the gold hits, the different laser details on the side panels, the overall color pattern of the shoe. Great job on the shoe. So, again, I'm at the ES, I'm camping out, and I get all the way to the front. I might be like, normally when I was camping out, I was usually like top 10, top 15, top 20, if that. Like, I was there, you know what I'm saying? So I'm there, I'm in the front of the line. I want to say I was like 12th or 15th place or something. I don't remember. Something like that. Either way, I told this story like a long time ago for the playoff 8s. I get in, and they get ready to check my pass to get access into the store to go purchase the shoes and do all the stuff. So I go in, and they're like, we don't see your name. Where's your pass? What's going on? I'm like, bro, you have got to be kidding me. I just camped out all night, and I don't have a pass? Like, what's happening? So mind you, this is, you know, I'm 16, 15 at the time, 15 and 16 at the time. And this was kind of when I was getting more like serious about collecting. So I'm like, you know, we're going to go camp out. And I want to say it was my first actual serious camp out, if I remember. I don't know. Either way, I'm going through this struggle. So now I'm calling my lady at Nike like, yo, what's up? Like, they said that they were going to give me, you said you were going to give me access. What's happening? Like, and she's like, sleep. She's not picking up. I'm like, bro, because it's early in the morning. They opened the store earlier before when this happened. So I'm like, bro, I got to get these shoes. And I'm just watching people coming in, buying them. I'm like, bro, they're about to buy up all the shoes. What is going on here? So now I'm sick, bro. So she has to wake up. She calls me back. I'm like, all right, come on. She's like, I'm about to rush out there. She literally drives all the way out there. Mind you, she lives in Portland. The employee store is in Beaverton. So, you know, 20 minutes plus get ready, this, that, the other. I'm waiting. I'm like, bro, I camped out all night and all these people are just going ahead of me. She comes in. She comes through. She gets me on the list. We're good to go. And they're like, we have 113 left. I'm like, bruh. It was fate. I needed to get these. So they had the 8s and they had the 15s. I got so lucky. I was also able to get them for my dad. So he got a 14 in the 8s and the 15s. And I got a 13 in the 8s and the 15s, which was very convenient. But this one, I just remember that's like a core memory to the camp out and the struggle and trying to figure it out and being sick about it and thinking I'm not going to get them after all that. And I wanted them so bad. And yeah, so wore these a ton throughout high school. They're still in great condition. You see they're kind of a little ashy on the back just from age and everything. You can see there's some tread marks from the bottom of the shoe, but overall, again, another banger. I love these right here. These ain't going nowhere. I don't care if they're worth $2 or $2,000. I'm keeping these. Now, another good one from high school that I can never forget to mention, and I had said from day one when I got this specific pair in my collection, because I've owned, I think, 3 or 4 pairs over the years. I'm pretty sure 1, 2, 3. Oh, yeah, okay, either way, I had multiple pairs of the shoe. So the Doernbecher Air Jordan 1. So if you guys don't know, my friend is Tony Taylor, Mr. Boober. As you see, that's him sketched right there. His little cartoon on the tongue. He designed these. The stars represent our high school. The different things of him wanting to be oceanside at the beach. All the different stuff, the cool elements to it. I knew him back in high school. And I saw him go through his process. I saw him go through his struggles. I saw him, you know, do everything with recovery, and then going through and designing this shoe and showing me and everything and being friends with him. So it was cool to see this. And remember, during this time, the Doernbecher series was just getting started, right? You had the Doernbecher 2s, and then he was next. So it wasn't like this whole legacy of the Doernbecher collection like we've seen to the day, where now it's on, what's the 21st year, right? We got all this new stuff. There's a lot of hype, big demand, resale, everybody's Doernbecher fans and all that stuff. It wasn't like that back then. So Booper hit me and he like, bruh, I gotta go to Nike. We're doing this thing. I'm gonna be there for a bit. Mind you, this is during class. Like, I'm like, I can't skip class. But I'm trying to get the shoes because they coming out right now as we speak. But he's over there. And I'm like, bro, look, let me give you some money. And can you purchase me a pair when you're there? And then lock me in. And he was like, I got you, bro. So I'll never forget. The drop happened that day. He came back. And I was the only person that he had grabbed a pair for. And he pulls up in the center hall. He got the bag. I open it up. I'm like, bruh, these are so dope. You killed it. Like, thank you. This is so fire. And then my homies was like, them is the shoes? And they're like, yeah, these is crazy. Like, everybody just started leaving school, going to Nike, trying to get them, or like going immediately after school to purchase the shoes. And next thing you know, like everybody in the high school rocking them. They all had pairs and they sold out quick. So, you know, people was like, bro, how did I miss them? Like, it was just this whole thing. It was fun with good memories. And then from that point on, it was like, I need another pair. I need a pair to rock, because this one in particular, like, I'm never wearing, bro. I told him that, like, I'm never wearing these. These are always going to be on display. One of my favorite Jordan 1s of all time literally is this pair right here. So because of that, I got a couple other pairs, been through those. And then, you know, with the aging and the material, which we didn't know was going to happen, starts to wrinkle and everything and separate and stuff. So I decided to get rid of other pairs. And I just got my one DS pair in my collection to this day. But again, a lot of good core memories with this shoe. Now, this next one I actually got when I was just finishing high school, when I was going into college. So I remember, what was the year of this? Because I'm pretty sure, yeah, 2000, yeah, 10, 11, yeah. Okay, so this time I was out at college. I was living on the East Coast, and I saw that the Black History Month Air Jordan 3 was releasing. And I'm like, bro, I have to get them. So, you know, there's a store called Concepts and different stores like that in Boston, right? So Bodega, right? So I walk into Bodega and they had a pair, and I'm like, bro, I'm buying them immediately. Cop, like, Black History Month Jordan 3, like, this is something so dope. Like, we don't see this. Like, remember the Black History Month Air Force Ones with the brown leather? Crazy. I used to have those. Remember they came with the wood box with the tweed and everything in there? Like, oh, I used to love those, but I had to get rid of them because I had grew out of them. But another banger. Either way, during this time, this was like new stuff. Remember, this isn't like, all these things have turned into so much now in the current time, but you know, 20 years ago, 15 years ago, 17 years ago, these were all like the beginning of these concepts and these things coming together. So immediately, like, yo, I'm ready to cop. Bruh, they don't have my size. Like, damn. Okay, so now I'm out here. I'm like, I'm in college now. I gotta be smart with it. Like, let me figure this out. So I hit my boy back home. He works at Nike, and he's like, bruh, they got him. They got him right now. I'm like, no way. He like, I got you. I'm gonna lock him in. Don't worry. This is like when PayPal was mainly like the only payment option. So I'm like, bro, you PayPal or what? He like, don't worry about it. When you get back from school, in the winter break or whatever break it was, like, we'll get it taken care of. Cool. So I come back, bro got him. I still got the shoe to this day. I've worn these a couple times for certain events, but I always clean them up and I try to keep them looking brand new, because I think there's just so much to say about a Black History Month Jordan, the details on it. I don't know if I've done a review on these before, but Jordan Brand is just, this is the best Jordan Brand Black History Month shoe, and it was the first, and then now it's like they haven't done anything as good since. So I need them to get back in their bag and really lock in for Black History Month kicks again and give us some fire storytelling and models and colors and everything like that, because they just kept doing the ones and stuff and it just wasn't as good. But this one in particular, yes, yeah, I ain't letting these go. Now for this next shoe, I had been hunting these down so hard when I was in high school and I just could not get my hands on them. So I got the white pair, but I couldn't get the black pair. And right when I got out of high school, I finally came across the black pair, and that is the Black Laser Air Jordan 4. This is one of the dopest, most premium, aesthetically pleasing, just you name it, checks so many boxes, nostalgic now, if you want to call it, Air Jordan 4s out there. And this new generation just doesn't understand the quality, the moment, the time, laser being introduced to sneakers, just the new things that were happening in this time that now people may not realize or appreciate because of it. But there was so much newness in this shoe, to say the least. They did a great job. I have the other original laser sample of these with the gold and the different materials and stuff, but this one in particular meant so much to me. I had to do a full trade for it. So if you guys remember, the South Beach LeBron 8s came out during that same time, back in that 2010 2011 time. South Beach LeBron 8s came out, and obviously it was a grail, right? Sneaker prices starting to go up, resale, the culture of it, LeBron, Nike basketball is on fire, like all this stuff. But I had them in a size 12 because that's all I could get my hands on at the time. So I was like, this is perfect. Let me trade those for these. I'm pretty sure they were a 12, unless I traded the 12 for a 13. Either way, I traded those and a little bit of cash for these. And now I finally got these in my collection, which was, I say finally, AKA I've had these for the past 15, 16 years now at this point. But I love these. They're still wearable. Now you can see there's a little bit of paint cracking and the bubbles starting to be foggy and everything. But luckily, again, because I have worn these so much over the years, it allowed me to still be able to wear these shoes to this day. So again, wear your shoes, especially if it's a Jordan 4, different models with this type of midsole. Otherwise, they're just gonna be falling apart. Now let's take it to the 10th and final banger, and then we'll get into some of the honorable mention PEs. All right, last but not least, I know we've been covering a lot of Jordans, but this one we had to end with a bang. High school memories. You guys have heard my stories behind these. Saved up, went through hell to get these for my collection, and I wanted to wear these for high school graduation so bad. And that is the Nike Blink Air Yeezy 1. Still got my pair, looking so clean. I know they're a little bit creased up from rocking them. I'll be wearing them still because I want to make sure that they're still wearable in the future. So you might catch me rocking these to the grocery store or something like that. Maybe wearing to the movies or something every now and then. But I love putting these on. I love rocking these. Now, for me, I was in the era of, I was collecting before these came out. And I remember when these dropped and the retail price was so high and the resale price was high, seeing these going for, you know, $400 or something like that seemed like a lot of money at its time. And over time, obviously the shoe just kept going up in value, but luckily I got mine back when they had came out and was able to wear these to my high school graduation, which I was so hyped about. And then eventually I ended up wearing my red Octobers to my college graduation. I figured I was, you know, working hard to get a pair of Yeezys for my high school graduation, so I was like, let's keep that tradition going, and I'll wear the red Octobers for college graduation. So I mean, we could put those on the list if we want to. I still have them in my collection. I don't think I'll probably ever get rid of those either, but this one I think had meant more to me, even though it's worth less and all the other stuff. But this one meant more to me in that moment, and just, you know, being a young kid in high school and everything and going through everything to get these. So Yeah, this is another really good one. If you guys want to see a detailed review of these individually, let me know. I know you don't see this type of stuff on the internet anymore, so it would be kind of fun to kind of backtrack and go through and unbox them and review them and show the on foots and everything, because there's actually a lot of cool details and the materials are crazy on these. So that's it for these. Now let's go ahead and get into these PEs real quick. Now for the PEs, I picked out 3 different shoes, and trust me, I have a ton of other pairs that we could put on this list for non-negotiables, but these 3 were the first ones that came to my mind as soon as I thought about this list. So we're rocking with, I don't know if there's a particular order, but we're just gonna go with this first one that I grabbed, and that is the Oregon Ducks Air Jordan 4. You guys remember during this time. Now for me, I was again just getting into college at the time. The homies, I had a bunch of homies that was playing at U of O. These were not nearly as expensive as they are now. You guys heard me plenty of times talk about the Oregon 3s and the pit crews and the football and the basketball team, and being able to get those for $300 or trade in some GRs or some Harris 7s for some Oregon 3s. That was very, very possible. It was things that I had owned over 10, 12, 15 pairs of the 3s, and the same thing with the 4s, running through multiple pairs of those. But then I came across this pair right here. This is actually a size 13.5. I had pairs in my size in a 13, a 12, 14, 16, 11.5. I had all a bunch of different sizes. Been through a bunch of pairs, sold pairs. And then I had, bruh, I don't know how I even came across these. But when I saw it was a 13.5, I knew for a fact, never getting rid of these. It was a Jordan size. Like, it's hard to find Jordan sizes. Whenever I get any sneaker in a size 13.5, I'm never getting rid of it. I have some of Jordan's personal pairs in a size 13.5, his sampled pairs. And again, it's just dope to have those pairs in my collection, which honestly, those could have probably made it on. No, that's probably for the sample list. Either way. Oh, this is, well, just, yeah, okay. Well, we might have to make another video about this topic. I could probably make 12 more videos about this topic on some non-negotiables. But yes, either way, great times, great memories. Still have my pairs, still wear them. They're still wearable. They're not too foggy. Paint's not cracking. I know how to take care of them. My back tab is crisp and on point. Again, if you have Oregon 4s, don't wear pants with them, because the pants are gonna just ruin the tab. You gotta wear these things with shorts. Otherwise, you're gonna be pissed. Like, it's all gonna be flaky and it's just not gonna look good. So that's how I keep my pair intact. Next up, let's go to another shoe that I really love rocking. Oh, this is a good one right here. The Air Jordan 17 Bibby. Now, you guys know there's a lot of hype around Jordan 17s and all this stuff. The 17s and the Bibby 17 is one of my favorites. And as you can see, I be rocking them. I don't even try to clean them up. I just let them do their thing because I just love wearing the shoe. And that is one thing that is so convenient. Because I wear my shoes, because I wear my expensive stuff too, even though people think I don't, my stuff is still wearable. Because I wore them back then. And you see a lot of people collecting these now and they're not wearable. They're cracking, they're crumbling, they look terrible. It's a part of the game, I get it. So for me, I learned that during that time. Had these for a long time now, and just still be rocking them. So this is one of my OGs, one of my throwbacks, one of my fun ones to have. You guys know I love all those PEs from that era. Chris Paul, Bibby, Ray Allen, all that stuff. Eddie Jones, you name it. You know, Michael Petras. We can go down the list. There's a bunch of great stuff when it comes to those older PEs. Speaking of that, let's take it back to my first ever, which I knew was a non-negotiable. I've owned 3 pairs of these, but this one in particular was the first one that I actually purchased of owning 3 pairs of these. And I had them all at the same time too, which is crazy. But the Ray Allen Air Jordan 12. Now, it's funny because I look back on it and I felt like I spent so much money. I can't remember if it was $500-600, something like that, thinking it was just like a ton of money for this shoe. And now I look at it this day and I'm like, bruh, I got these for a great deal. But at the time, I was just buying a dope shoe for a dope athlete, for a dope everything. I just thought it was cool and I wanted to have something different. I wanted to step my game up and get into the samples and PEs and stuff. This is a Supersonics sample. So not the Boston Celtics. He was with the Supersonics before that. If you guys remember, there's a ton of great stuff from that era as well. But this was the first PE that got me started. So this was from, man, I don't even know. I got these when I was in high school, like way back. And from that point on, I was like buying regular stuff too. Had all the releases. I literally had every release that was coming out for years. I wore a brand new pair of shoes every day of high school. My senior year and the back end of my junior year, I wore a new pair of shoes every day. That was before the social media stuff and everything. Like, I was literally doing it, just living that life. Like, it's crazy. So this one, I bring it to sneaker cons. I take it to events. I've worn a pair before. This one in particular I have not worn. Well, technically I did wear them one time for a shoe challenge thing. I got up on stage, I laced them up, and it was like who had the most heat on feet, and I was doing that to win a contest. It was at a dunk exchange. I remember that. That was when it was like in the Bay Area. That was like, had to be at least 12, 14 years ago. It was a long time ago. But yeah, that's gonna be it for these. Let me know what you guys think down below in the comment section. Do you guys want to see another video on these non-negotiables? Do you have any other topics of these top 10s or something like that? Just a little bit unique, some fun storytelling, some things, some memories for me to go down memory lane. It's always fun, you know, pulling them out the cases and reminiscing for a little bit. So I appreciate you guys as always. Again, don't forget to subscribe. I'll see you guys when we hit 400,000 so we can do this giveaway. And yeah, see y'all on the next one.
I would never let you down.
Hey, just a quick reminder, again, the link is down below in the description to join the community if you have not already. I'm giving away the entire Hobby to Hustle program for free, only to members. So you got to sign up and get in. Again, everything is free. You don't have nothing to pay for. It's all going to be inside. You're going to love it. Trust me, I've helped hundreds of people with this. I cannot wait to help you as well.
It's in my DNA. The only choice I like to make what I'ma wear today. I would never let you down. It's in my DNA. The only choice I like to make what I'ma wear today. I was made for it. It's in the DNA.